日本時間4月14日、米国時間4月13日、ロサンゼルス、ドジャースは本拠地でニューヨーク、メッツと対戦した。開幕から好調のドジャース、11勝4敗に対し、メッツは5連敗中と不振、手法不安、外の離脱もあり、苦しい状況でロサンゼルスに乗り込んだ。注目は大谷翔平。全2試合連続で先頭打者本塁打を放ち、記録更新への期待が高まる中、この日は初回に四球を受けて出塁。しかし、その直後にカイル・タッカーが四球でつなぐと、ウィル・スミスが中前的自打を放ち、大谷が先制のホームを踏んだ。振らずして流れを変える存在感を見せつけた。さらに3回、アンディ・タフェスがスリーラン本塁打を叩き込み、試合の主導権は完全にドジャースへ。序盤から効率よく得点を重ね、試合をコントロールした。試合後はデーブ・ロバーツ監督のコメントや専門家の分析とともに、大谷のプレーがハイライトとして取り上げられた。勢いに乗るドジャースが、地区優勝候補メッツを圧倒する形となった。
New York Mets arrive in LA for this series, having lost 5 in a row. They just got swept twice, or shut out twice in 3 days by the A's, and they're 7-9 on the season. Francisco Lindor hitting .188 without an RBI. The two new additions haven't added a whole lot yet either. Marcus Semien hitting .190. Bo Bichette doing a little better recently, hitting .235 with 9 RBIs. Their big star Juan Soto expected to miss another week or two with a strained calf. And of course, everyone loves to hate on the Dodgers for having the highest payroll and winning back-to-back World Series. The Mets have the second highest payroll. They missed the playoffs last year, Jerry, and payroll alone does not guarantee you win games in Major League Baseball. It's a very early start to the season. They have been struggling, but they've also lost part of their identity when you consider there's no more Pete Alonso there. There's no Brandon Nimmo, no Jeff McNeil, and Edwin Diaz is closing games now for the Dodgers.
Yeah, certainly they are searching right now. No, it's still early, and they got tremendous players. Francisco Lindor is as good as it gets. I think he's a future Hall of Famer. I know he's off to a slow start. Semien can swing the bat. Excellent defender at second base. And we know Bo Bichette will get going as well. They are missing their best player in Soto, and he is an absolute difference maker. So, yes, the last 5 games, that run differential is -21. You're not going to win a lot of games like that. They understand that. The biggest thing for the Dodgers, understanding this team has a lot of talent. Don't allow them to get hot.
Yeah, I don't see Lindor not having an RBI this year. And I know he's going to hit a lot of these guys, just like guys on the Dodgers. You know, they're going to eventually be hitting the way the back of their baseball card has been throughout their entire career. So it's a matter of time. But at the same time, if you're the Dodgers, you know a team right now that may be struggling coming in. This is when you really want to maybe put some runs up on the board early. Try to keep them demoralized because they're probably looking for that spark to get them going because they know what's been going on. They know they've been struggling early. So they're looking for that little thing to say, hey, all we need is just something to get us going. And whether it's that infield hit, whatever it may be, they're looking for something. So I think for the Dodgers, keep putting your foot on the gas. Don't let them up for air right now. Go out there and continue to play your game.
And might we see Dodgers closer Edwin Diaz getting a chance in the series to close one out against his former team? We know Diaz had a tough game for the Dodgers on Friday night. His velo was down as well. Let's head back inside the stadium once again, check in with Kirsten joining us live, and she's got an update for us on Edwin Diaz. Hi, Kirsten.
Hi, John. Yeah, that was the big question today. Is Edwin Diaz going to be available to pitch in this series? Of course, as you mentioned, on Friday, he had his first blown save in Dodger blue. On Saturday, they stayed away from him. Yesterday, ahead of the game, Dave Roberts was asked if they might go to him if the situation arises. And he said that right now they're keeping him in a day-to-day situation. But today, Dave Roberts talked about if we could potentially be seeing if Edwin Diaz would take the mound in this series.
Talked to Edwin briefly just a little bit ago. Feels great, which is a good thing. I think that I think now it goes to me having a conversation with the training staff, and so he's wanting to pitch, says he's available. I think now it's just me kind of consulting with the training staff and figure out what's the best case. But now we know, just watching with my eyes, having him play catch and talking to him, feel very confident that he's in a good spot.
I know that you've said that your concern level was very low. Did you guys have to do any imaging or anything like that, or everything is truly just been kind of taking some rest time or keeping an eye on him on the field?
Yeah, no imaging. Just the treatment and just kind of the manuals and the conversations, and then kind of like the the manual testing that the training staff does. Yeah.
Is that a nation he's like dealing with anything physically, like even at all to prompt this, or is this just sort of seeing the velocity readings and immediately assuming it is?
That was it, and just kind of saying he just didn't feel right, and so talking about some of the things before, the track record, the knee, and all that stuff. So, that's sort of, I think I'd like to think behind us, but that was more of, what the genesis behind it.
So after that outing on Friday, when Edwin Diaz did talk to a few of the people in the media, he had shared that since having knee surgery back in 2023, he has felt that the velocity does take a minute to kind of build as the season goes on. He shared that on Friday. He just felt like he didn't have his best stuff. He didn't really have any oomph behind it. And even with looking at the numbers, as much as the velocity is down this year, if you look at last year at this exact time in April, he was at about 96 miles per hour and then worked his way up as the season went on. This year, he's at about 95, so it is technically down from last year, but still the Dodgers and him, they're optimistic that he's still in a good spot. He has passed all of the tests, did not need any imaging. But they do believe that in time, it's just going to build up as the season continues, guys.
Yeah, nobody's going to be worried about Edwin Diaz as long as he's feeling fine in that right arm. Kirsten, thank you very much. We're getting closer to first pitch on a chilly evening here in Los Angeles. Tonight, the Dodgers will be the first team to cross the 500,000 mark in home attendance already. They've led the majors in attendance every single year since 2013 because, of course, they have the best team in baseball and the best fans. Speaking of the Dodgers lineup, let's check it out. Series opener against the Mets left-hander David Peterson. You've got Shohei, Kyle Tucker, Will Smith going 1 through 3. Teoscar Hernandez in the cleanup spot. Freddie Freeman will bat 5th. Andy Pages starting in center field. Max Muncy's at 3rd. Santiago Espinal getting a chance to start at second base tonight. Miggy Rowe at short, batting 9th behind Justin Robleski. Jerry, what sticks out to you?
I'm looking at the guy highlighted, Teoscar Hernandez. He's off to a great start. I have a feeling about Teoscar Hernandez tonight. Maybe an early shot call.
Oh, wow. Listen to you. I'm looking at, I'm looking couple of guys right behind him. Andy Pages. We saw him batting 3rd. And the way he's been swinging the bat, you could put him anywhere in the lineup is what I really like to see from Andy Pages.
Another day, another record that Shohei is flirting with. This time it's all about leadoff home runs. Mookie Betts, Dodgers all-time leader with 32 home runs to start a game. The late, great Davey Lopes is second with 28. Jock Peterson is 3rd. And here comes Shohei, just 1 behind Jock. He has 20 leadoff bombs. In fact, Shohei's led off the game with a home run each of the last 2 days. And as our friend Sarah Langs tweeted out, since 1900, only 3 players have hit a leadoff home run in 3 consecutive games. Alex Verdugo did it just a few years ago. Ronald Acuna Jr. Brady Anderson's actually done it 4 games in a row. So no more a chance for Shohei to join a very small group tonight.
Yeah, don't ever doubt the Big Show. So I don't. So I expect another one today. If he doesn't, I'd be disappointed. Actually, he's just been outstanding. I really love the way he did it yesterday, knowing who's on the mound. A guy like Jacob deGrom, who you don't want to get behind on, and that he might just go that first pitch, try to challenge you to get things going. He didn't waste any time. You know what? Do the same thing today. Look for the pitch into your zone and let it fly. Get on the board early. I also think they heard us discussing how we were getting on the top of the lineup, not getting on the board early. And Shohei really took that personally. Says, okay, fellas, you're going to talk about this. I'm going to change this up a little bit. And he has done that.
Yeah, they did take it personally. They were upset at us, Nomar, because we did kind of get on them a little bit. But hey, they started producing and swinging the bat. Listen, Shohei Ohtani, I love how aggressive he is early in the ball game and with those leadoff home runs. So why not do it again tonight? But again, he's always a threat when he's in that batter's box.
All right, John, 2 of the favorites in the National League going head-to-head here. Rematch of the 24 National League Championship Series. It's the Dodgers and the New York Mets. As we welcome you inside, hope your week's off to a great start. Joe Davis with Eric Karros. The Dodgers off to a great start. They take 2 of 3 over the weekend against Texas. A Major League best 11-4, and it's been a pretty well-rounded start to this season.
Well, it really has been. It's just been everything. Contributions from everybody on the offense. And there's still some guys that haven't got extremely hot. It's been top of the lineup. It's been bottom of the lineup. And all of them are producing one way or another. The defense, it's been exceptional. Fewest errors in all of Major League Baseball. Doesn't matter who's out there, they're catching the ball. And the pitching has been just as good. And we're still missing some guys. This team right now is as loaded as any Dodger team I've seen.
Now, you touched on it a little bit. It's not necessarily been the MVPs at the top of the order. The lineup length has shown up so far, Kirsten Watson.
Yeah, Joe, it has been made clear that the bottom of the order, especially that bottom half, hitters 5 through 9, they have been the true difference makers when it comes to this offense. If you look at their numbers on the season thus far, they've got a .321 batting average. They've got 14 home runs already. When you talk to Dave Roberts, he has shared that he's been seeing really quality and consistent at-bats are taking advantage in key moments. You mentioned it. It continues to lengthen the lineup, but Dave said it really creates opportunities to put some pressure on the opposing pitcher, but also opportunities to create some really big innings. Right, Blake?
Big innings.
Oh, yeah, guys.
All right. Yeah, so the New York Mets, we mentioned off at the top, one of the favorites in the National League, and they very well may be there at the end, but they've dropped 5 in a row, coming here really limping.
Right, the good thing about the Mets right now is they're not playing well. The bad thing about the Mets right now, they're not playing well. They're going to get hot. As you mentioned, they are a team that everybody expects to get to the playoffs. They're not going to stay at this level, but let's hope they stay at this level for at least the next 3 games.
All right, we got 3 between the Dodgers and the Mets, and a matchup of left-handers here tonight. David Peterson for the Mets, Justin Robleski for the Dodgers. First pitch coming up on Sportsnet LA. Ohtani gets hit by this 0-2. As long as he's okay, that's a gift. Well, it's not a leadoff home run, but it is a leadoff base runner for the Dodgers as Ohtani gets hit by this 2-strike pitch.
Right, and for most guys, you'd say, okay, it's not that big of a deal. It's in the back, but that's throwing, and that's pitching, and that's, you know, right up there. And again, is it structurally going to cause an issue? No, but it's going to leave a mark. It's going to be a little short. Got that start on Wednesday.
That's right.
Here, it's okay. Somebody else will do it.
First to reach for the Dodgers without having to take the bat off of their shoulder. So Ohtani gets hit. Tucker walks. Fires 1-1. Smith grounds it sharply and through. The Dodgers waste no time getting on the board. Smith knocks in Ohtani 1-0 before there's an out.
Two great reasons to have short arms. You can pull your hands in and hit the ball up the middle, and you don't have to pick up dinner checks. I mean, seriously.
Feels good for you to have 8 shutout innings today, the best big league performance that you've had. How do you just describe what you were able to do today?
Yeah, I think, Will called a great game back there, first off. I think there was only probably, 1 or 2 times that I wanted to shake, and I was probably wrong in those situations, obviously. So, Will did a great job. That's first and foremost. And then, yeah, second off, I think I was just doing a good job commanding to both sides of the plate with the fastball. Stuff wasn't where I usually want it to be, but I was commanding it really well, and they were swinging. I was getting quick outs, and we played really, really good defense behind me. So, yeah, it's a team effort to get that, especially with only 2 strikeouts for 8 innings. But, yeah, just trying to attack hitters and get them to put it in play and see what happens.
You mentioned that fastball command, but it really felt like you navigated through their lineup with just 2 pitches, the fastball and the slider. How much was that game plan or feel?
Yeah, I think, a lot of this spring training and kind of the back half of last year was just to stick with what I'm good at and my strengths, which is the fastball and the slider, and then we add wrinkles when we need to. And I think sometimes in the past I'd try to add wrinkles when they hadn't shown me that I needed to, and that's, I think, part of me growing as a pitcher is just trying to make sure that I'm not adding and doing extra when I don't need to. And then, yeah, we were starting to flip the curveball in there every now and again, get a couple of strikes, and yeah, got a couple ground balls on it. So yeah, it felt good. Feels good.
You had talked about the defense, and you had mentioned the other guys, but I have to bring up, the line drive that you got. That was pretty excellent defense, Justin.
Yeah, it's just self-preservation at that point. The bat's flying at me, the ball's flying at me. I just stick the glove out and make the catch. But yeah, it's yeah, play some defense, I guess.
When you look at what's next, how do you build on an outing like this?
Yeah, I think, same as any other outing, whether it's good or bad, I'm looking at the same things, trying to get as good as I can at the things that I know make me successful. And, I got to go back and look at it and see where the delivery's at, see where, stuff's at, see if I was, I think today I was throwing the right pitches in the right spots, but, just the same old same.
You're 1 inning away of work just from a complete game. You were nearly perfect with this one. Does it make you want those things that much more after what you were able to achieve today?
Yeah, I think, when I get through 5 there and I'm through the tough part of their order, as a left-handed pitcher, I think, you smell the complete game, and I think that's kind of, what you always go for as a starting pitcher is you want to go out there and you want to finish the game. But, that's rare in modern baseball, but it's still something that I value and I would like to do in my career. I think 8 innings is the most I've ever thrown in a game. So we'll build up to it and see if we can get a couple complete games this year. But if not, I think it's just, again, working on what I need to work on and continuing to grow.
Justin, a remarkable performance. Congratulations on tonight.
Thank you, thank you.
今回も最後までご視聴いただき本当にありがとうございました。動画の内容を楽しんでいただけたでしょうか。もしよろしければチャンネル登録と高評価をお願いいたします。皆さんの応援が今後の動画制作の大きな励みになります。それではまた次回の動画でお会いしましょう。